Just talk about, man. This, I asked Coach here a while ago the stride he felt you'd made since last spring. You talk about this. You've been here for a season. You watched those three linebackers. Just talk about the strides you've made, in your opinion.
In my opinion, I feel like I made some great strides. With the help of Grant, Hayden, and Bump, last year, I learned a lot just by sitting and just watching them maneuver, watching them talk, make checks and stuff like that. So I feel like I made a great stride from last year and this spring and going into this fall camp. So I feel like I've been doing great.
Coming off the edge, now moving inside. Mike talked about that. Michael talked about that a while ago. Just talk about how big adjustment is that, and how comfortable you are right now with moving inside and everything.
I mean, I would say it's a pretty big adjustment because on the edge, you're worried about half the field. When you're back, you're worried about the whole field. I mean, you got a lot more keys to read. But other than that, right now I feel pretty comfortable. I mean, Coach Shear and Pooh and Bump have done a great job of helping me learn my keys and just be more comfortable.
Think about, just for both of you, Jordan Crook and Manny Powell, Caden Henley, those three guys, how have they progressed so far?
Those three guys have made great progression, especially with it coming onto the field. They picked up on things pretty well. We helped them out as soon as they got here. They did not take a step back from day one. They've been on a high standard, and they've maintained that high standard. So I think they've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely taken a big step forward in progressing. I mean, everyone in the whole room has gotten better together, and we just do a great job of teaching each other and just pushing each other in the room.
Crook specifically, it looks like he's maybe working a little bit higher up on the depth chart. What is something about him, I guess, that stands out? Just being a true freshman, and it sounds like a guy that could help y'all this year.
Crook's ego is just something that's contagious. He's a high energy player. He picks up all the other teammates, older too. So, he's just a great example of what you can do when you first get here. He reminds me of a little bit of myself. I came in, a little confident as he was. It took me a little longer to learn the things, the concept and stuff like as long as he did. But, he's been a great adjustment to the linebacker room.
Yeah, just like he said, just the energy he plays with. I mean, he just really comes with that attitude you expect from a linebacker, and he just applies it to the field and does a great job of doing what he does.
Mark Shear was in here saying that Bumper stayed mad at him all last year. Did you see that going on? I mean, what was Bumper's attitude?
Coach Shear is he's a hard coach on you. He's gonna coach you hard, but that's the type of coach that everybody wants. He wants somebody that's gonna tell you the truth. He's not gonna sugarcoat things like that. So it's gonna be times that players are gonna get upset with coach, but he just wants the best out of us. So, as far as, getting mad and things like that, it was a couple times, but there's never been a time where they just, fell out with each other, stop talking anything. It's always been a love. It's like a mutual feeling between the two. Bump has always been grateful for Coach Shear and the coaching points that he gives him, because Coach Shear puts us in the best position possible to make plays. So I feel like, they have a great bond with each other.
Drew, Coach Shear has told us that one of his deals with you is convincing you how good you can be. Is that something that you talk about with him?
I mean, it's not really something we talk about, but he just does a good job, showing me what to do and how I can use my abilities to get the job done.
Manny Powell was here during the spring, but now he's actually getting to go out on the field and practice. What have been y'all's impressions of him now that he's putting on pads and going through practice?
Manny's have been doing a great job of just staying focused and staying on track. He picking up on the defensive schemes, everything. Coach asks him questions every day, and he gets them right every time, So he's been doing a great job just sitting, listening, and being patient for his turn. So I feel like he's doing great.
Yeah, I mean, he did have to miss out, on the spring a little bit, but he's picked it up pretty fast, and he's just doing a great job of learning and absorbing all the information, all the coaches and players around him are giving him.
Chris, I think Michael, when he said Bumper was mad at him, he meant because he wasn't starting him, because he'd started the last 3 years. He was obviously playing as much as the other guys, but he wasn't starting him. Did you get a good sense that Bumper had even if obviously he wanted to start, everybody wants to start, but that he kept an unselfish attitude about it?
Yeah, Bump is not a selfish person. Bump is actually a person who puts others first. So I feel like Bump, with the playing time that he did have, he did great with it. He took advantage of his opportunity. So I would never say Bump was just overly mad at Coach Shear. No, that's not true. They have a great bond, like I said. So he just adjusted well to the coaching points that he gave him, and last year stats proved that.
It used to be guys would get blocked from transferring within the conference. There was like rules against it, and they'd have to sit out and couldn't be on scholarship. But now there's a lot of free flowing, SEC guys go to other SEC schools and, go back and forth. Was it important to you to go to an SEC school? Who else did you consider, and just how glad are you that it's free flowing now in the portal now, and you can do what you want to do, go where you want to go?
I mean, yeah, a big thing for me was trying to stay in the SEC, but it was between staying in the SEC, I wanted to be closer to home too. So Oklahoma and Texas were like the other ones we were really looking at, but it just there's a big sense of pride with playing in the SEC, and I just still want to be a part of that.
I couldn't tell if Bumper was giving you pointers or if you guys were just talking, but just what have you learned from him since you've gotten here? He's a veteran guy, and is he kind of like taking you under his wing and giving you pointers at practice?
I mean, yeah, ever since I got here, he's done a great job, helping me, and just, like you saw us talking. I mean, every time we get off the field, we talk about what might have happened, like what might have went wrong, and how we could fix it, how we could be better, and then we're always just trying to figure out ways to, help each other.
Along the same lines of that, unlike last year when Grant, Hayden, and Bumper were here, now it's like Bumper and then younger guys like yourselves. But what is it like to have him, and how has he been a leader for the linebacker room?
Bump is an excellent leader. It's never a time that I can't just ask Bump about a scheme or just sitting down watching film and things like that. Bump helped me a lot last year. He's still helping me this year, understand more about what the defense is trying to do. So there's been times that me and him just stood on the sidelines and he's telling me, like, hey, you got that gap on this play, or you got to guard this man right here, or just here, line up here. It'll be easier for you to guard your man if he goes this way or whatnot. So Bump has been a great leader in that room.
You see Bumper standing over and he still makes 100 tackles, over 100 tackles. He doesn't start. Does that make it easier? If you don't start, you know that you still can get a lot of playing time in this defense if you don't start?
Absolutely. Bump taught me that if you take advantage of your opportunities, great will be the outcome. So, just watching him, like I said, last year, with the stats that he had, even though he didn't start, and he still had over 100-plus tackles, it just proved to me, like, if you take advantage of the opportunities that's in front of you, the outcome will be great.
By OU, Texas, and Arkansas. You looked at the three linebackers over 100 tackles each. How big an impact was that for you? I'm trying to say.
I mean, yeah, just how productive this room was, especially in the SEC, being the top leaders is obviously something that was pretty attractive and something that you wanted to be a part of.
You guys on Wednesday, I guess you guys were like blitzing and the running backs were pass protecting and stuff. Rocket looked like he was doing pretty good. I was wondering if you guys could tell us a little bit about, just how those guys are doing on the running backs, and also Dubinion being a freshman, still learning that. Like, what could he get better at?
The running backs are, progressing every day. They're great pass blockers, like Coach Pittman said. If you can't pass block, you can't play here. So they take that into great consideration. They've been working hard on it. We've seen tremendous, progression out of them. Dubin, he's young. You expect young guys to not be as good as, a veteran. That's why people like Rocket and, people like that take him under their wings and just guide him into the great player that he can be.
Specifically, I saw you guys had some good battles.
He's been great at what he does, and he keeps improving. I mean, not just the running backs, but the team as a whole, and every aspect. I feel like we've been getting better and better farther along we go along camp and stuff.
3 quick questions. Who's the fastest linebacker?
I don't know.
40-yard dash. Who wins? Out of all y'all.
We have to line it up and see. So,
yeah, we'll have to line it up.
No answers. Okay. What about strongest? That's something that's measurable in the weight room. Who's strongest linebacker?
We all about the same. Yeah.
I don't know.
We all work at the same speed. So.
Yeah.
Biggest hitter?
We'll have to see.
Search on that, I guess.
Hey, for both you guys, Michael, it's not that long ago. He was playing in the SEC for Mizzou. What's he like as a coach, and do you still feel like he's got, I don't know, youthful enthusiasm, or do you get a sense it hadn't been that long since he played? How does he relate to you guys at his age?
Coach Shear is a high, energetic guy. I love him to death. With him playing in the SEC, he played under Coach Odom at Mizzou, so he teaches us the schemes. He played with Coach Odom there, and so he teaches us the scheme. He has a better in-depth of what's going on because he actually played there, played in it. So just having a coach that actually played in the scheme is a huge advantage because, he actually knows how to maneuver in that scheme, what tricks and tactics would be best to help, linebacker make plays. So Coach Shear is a great guy, great coach.
I mean, yeah, just like he said, not just coaching in it, but being able to play in it. You learn a little bit more. He has a kind of a bigger understanding just from playing in it, and he's able to translate to us, and he just does a great job of emphasizing of our jobs.
I don't know how much tackling there'll be, if any, but what are you guys looking for out of the scrimmage? How excited you are to get the first scrimmage at camp?
From the scrimmage, we just decided to show the coaches what we've been working hard for. We're excited to show the fans or, spectators, what kind of season they're going to get out of us this year. And, yeah, so.
Yeah, I don't think scrimmage is, too different from practice right now, but, it's treated like a game day, but so is every other practice around here. So, I mean, we're just high energy and everyone's excited every day.
Drew, Coach Shear talked about how you're a great pass rusher, but a lot of what you're going to be doing is away from the ball. He said that's been a little bit difficult for you. Can you just kind of talk through that, how you're getting through that during practice?
Yeah, I mean, like we've said before, there's little things that translate. I still got a lot to learn and a lot to pick up on, but just being able to be on my feet and move around a little bit, I think I'm getting a little bit more comfortable each day, but is it a big step from what I was doing from the past few years?